This is the beauty of the woods. Middle of the day, and we got this mess. Welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to our Divergence modded Minecraft Let's Play series. If you recall last episode, we finally got our key to the Nether, and we stepped in there. We didn't do too much in there. Between that episode and this one, I did go in there a little bit, gather some glowstone and stuff. But that's been about it so far. Also, of course, we tackled a bunch of dungeons. I was able to make these lights now that we got some glowstone. Basically, they are the Bibliocraft fancy lanterns, and they're made with iron, and then I dyed the candles red, which you can do that. If you look here, let me pull up the recipe here. You just make the fancy lantern like this, glass panes, 2 iron, glowstone, and torch. You can also make it out of gold as well. And then if you want like the red candle, you can just put a dye in there and dye the candle that way. And I've been running this pretty much non-stop because we're going to need a lot of mana once this base gets up and going. If you notice, I've done a bit more building here. This is actually going to open up into the courtyard, and we've got a mana pool here that's starting to fill up. And then over here there's like a little like sub tower area, and then of course here is our runic altar. So basically I want everything in here to feel really open instead of being like clustered and all the different little machines, so to speak, and all that stuff. I don't want them all cramped up. I want them to feel open, and I like the glass, you know, instead of having like the completely open sky type Botania setup that I generally go with. I just want this kind of like open feeling building. And this is actually going to be the center, and it's going to come out kind of how this does and have 4 courtyards around each area there. So, and then we'll put the towers in the back, and then the front we'll kind of spruce that up a little bit. There's going to be a main, right over here is going to be like the front section, and you're going to enter here, and there's going to be a road kind of set up that runs through here, and we're going to have a different building for, say, Thaumcraft, one for blood magic, witchery, that kind of thing. Well, witchery is probably going to be more outdoors than a building, but I also set up this. This is super crafting frames for a lot of the stuff that I'm building with. With that, you know, you got your carpenter's blocks over here. I'm getting a little bit of FPS hitching every once in a while. I apologize about that. And then you got your living rock blocks there, and living wood and white glass. So I also set up a few more lasers. I went and filled these things up with oil, and I don't know what's with this hitching. And I also set up another water tank siding structure here. So, man, I'm getting a little bit of lag right now, and I don't know what's causing it. Anyway, and then I set up more of Stirling engines, and I actually had to rebuild this combustion engine because a creeper snuck up on me at night and blew it up. But these, you just put coal in there, and they're going to produce, I believe it's 20 RF a tick. It's not a whole lot, but it does help. You'll also notice that I got all the stuff together here. I'm still making the exceptional tech augmentations, but I did finally finish making the gold and iron chipsets, and yeah. So we're getting pretty close to immersive engineering. It is just very, very mana intensive. So before we get going here, let me grab a little bit of coal coke. We'll say 9. And I'm going to go ahead and let this run for a minute, because I had to turn it off. Mainly I'm just running these as I run this system. And I have to toggle this off ever so often to let it kind of build up with water here, because it does go through quite a bit of water once it gets heated up to full power. So I kind of let these build up for a little bit, and then you know, I resume it. And it's got plenty of oil in there. But anyway, today we're actually going to be covering a lot of just miscellaneous little things, kind of like these bibliocraft lights, but not quite as I guess minor decorative. I was going to make some backpacks, but I realized they're not craftable in this. You can craft the woven ones, but say the miner's backpack, there's no recipe for that. There is a recipe for the woven one that takes an expedition memento and woven silk. So I'm assuming the miner's backpack is probably something you're going to have to find, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. But first thing I want to cover is those super crafting frames, because if you're not familiar with them, you know, they might be kind of bizarre to you. I can drag these. What did it... Yeah, huh. I guess it's just a little glitch there or something. I don't know. But anyway, the super crafting frames are just crafted by putting a crafting table in here, surrounding it by sticks. That's going to get you the super crafting frame. Now, if you notice, I have these just set up here because I don't have a ton of wood, a ton of living wood, living rock, any of that stuff on hand, like ever, because it's all going into this. And I'm trying to do most of my foresting and like sand removal and stuff elsewhere, because I don't really want to mar the landscape. It's kind of just too scenic and everything here, so I'm trying to avoid that. But what you can do with these, let me find an example here of something that we could have it craft. I'll tell you what, we'll do gravel, because there's a lot of gravel in here. You can actually just stick this onto an inventory, and if you notice here it says player and inventory. You can toggle that, but we're going to leave it player and inventory. Then you're just going to put your recipe in here, and if you notice, that makes flint in this pack. So what we can do, we can throw that gravel back in there, and if you notice, I have no gravel on my inventory, but if I right click this, it made a flint. So it can craft from any attached inventory, and you can actually use your modular system inventory to craft from it. So it's really, really nice. There's also, with super crafting frame, there's also item frames right here, and they're made just leather and then sticks around it. No, I'm sorry. That's the standard item frame. I need the super item frame, which is right here. It's a dropper and sticks around it, and what that does is I could put it on the side here and say dirt, you know. So instead of having to open this up and find the dirt, I could just click there and just get dirt out of the inventory from that little that item frame. There's also a void frame that kind of works like a trash can, but I don't personally use it, but it's made just ender pearl in the middle and then sticks around it. So, but they're really, really handy to have early on when you don't have auto crafting. Instead of having to, you know, put those recipes in every single time, you can just, you know, run up and click on it. And then if you shift, what is it? Shift right click. Okay, shift right click that'll create a whole stack of the item if you have the, you know, the mats. And then shift left click opens up the GUI here. And then if you just standard left click, it's going to instantly break it. So be wary of that. I was hoping I could sleep. There we go. The next thing we're going to jump into is the tool forge. I've already got the mats here for it. Well, one of the mats is over here, but yeah, I've still been just eating apples. I know we got some of the Pam's Harvest Craft stuff going, but until we actually get some kind of an agricultural setup. Okay, there's nothing in there. I'm not gonna jump into too much cooking just yet. But the tool forge is an upgraded version of the tool station. So, for example, if we pull up the tool station here, you see we've got like just these different tools and weapons that we can craft. But what you got to do to get more options is just put yourself some seared bricks over the top of the tool station and then blocks of iron on the sides here, and that's going to get you the tool forge. Now you can actually use other things like gold instead of iron. You can use aluminum, all different kinds of stuff, and it actually changes the color of it, but we're just going to go with the standard one for now because iron's really the only thing I have a ton of, and I guess tin. But yeah, if you notice, now we can make crossbows, shurikens. The hammer is actually disabled in this pack, so just be aware of that. They kind of disabled it so that you would have to kind of get into some other mods instead of just being like super Tinker's Constructs all the way. I know I'm to blame in that as well. Like a lot of times I'll be playing packs and I will just use the hammer. You know, the hammer's great, it's easy to get, and I was looking to see if we could find the hammerhead here, but yeah, here we go. Well, it doesn't say that it's not allowed, but it is not allowed. Just take my word for it. In the Tinker's book it says that we can't use that. So what I want to do actually is make right here, this lumber axe. You can actually cut down entire trees with this, so it's definitely a step up from our hatchet. But I am planning on making that out of manulin, and that is a or maybe I'll make it out of cobalt. Cobalt's a little bit faster than manulin, but manulin has more durability, so it's kind of you know. But to get manulin, it's a combination of cobalt and ardite, which are both found in the nether. But to mine it, you're actually going to have to get something stronger than steel. So what we're going to make, actually, is alumite. And alumite is a combination of iron, obsidian, and tin, or aluminum, I mean. And it's 1 part obsidian, 1 part iron, and then, or no, 2 parts obsidian, 2 parts iron, and 5 parts aluminum. So obsidian, when you cook it down like this, it actually is going to make 2 ingots worth. So we'll just use 1 piece of obsidian. I've already got iron actually in there right now. So if I can remember where I'm going, we will grab some, I know I have some aluminum in here. Yeah. And we'll grab enough. This, if you recall, if you put it, these chunks, if you put them like that, you'll get the ore. Which, of course, the ore is going to make 2 ingots worth of aluminum each one. So we'll let that stuff go ahead and smelt down, and we'll come back in a second once we get our alumite. So, and we're going to make a pick head for that. So, but another thing I want to jump into is, if you want to see my, under here, is the way that the mana spreaders are set up. Another FPS hitch there. I don't know. But, well, it's kind of hard to see it. Anyway, those, let me just open this up, actually. They all spray there into the middle, and then it gets pushed down into here, into this mana pool, and then, that sends it, it's going to go around throughout the base from that central hub, and there's going to be some other mana gen, in this area, probably. Some of the more unsightly stuff that I don't like the way it looks as much. And then these are spraying. This one's going to that courtyard that I showed you, and then this one's going back to our runic altar. So I'm sure you can tell I've been running these like constant since or over the last couple episodes, trying to build up mana and whatnot. And then I've been finding a lot of those black lotus flowers, so I've been using those quite a bit. But the next thing we're going to cover is something I've been wanting to make, and something, it's really, really nice to get it. Let me see here. A couple things. Okay, the first one is the Horn of the Wild, which, to get that, you're actually going to have to get yourself some grass, which you can just go up to any of these, and you want to cut it with shears, which, it got sucked into my thing here. But yeah, if you cut it with shears, it's going to give you just the grass item. And then what you can do is you can take these, which we're going to need two, but you can take these over to your mana pools, which ours will be right here, and you can throw them in and get pasture seeds out of them. So what we can do with that is put it right there in the middle, and then put living wood just like this, and that's going to get you the Horn of the Wild. And what this does, this is one of my favorite items from Botania, just because I hate all this unsightly grass. So what you can do is you can just hold right click and just break all the grass and stuff. It makes like clearing out all this grass and stuff so much easier. And I've kind of been waiting to clear out my courtyards until I got that. So then you can just kind of run around and grab all the seeds and whatnot. Our inventory's full right now, so I'm just going to throw those down. Because after this episode, we're not really going to need them anymore. I do want to grab all these seeds, though, just because... mainly these wheat seeds, because we'll use them a lot with with Botania. So, alright. And here in a little bit I'll show you a way to kind of, not really upgrade the Horn of the Wild, but kind of change it. Now you do want to watch out because, oh no, they must have fixed that since, okay, never mind. There was a time when you could actually break some of your flowers that way. But it seems like they've fixed that, so. Alright, so you don't have to worry about it breaking your Botania flowers. Now you do have to worry about it breaking crops. That's still a thing, so, you know, if you're going to be using this, try not to use it near, like, your farms and stuff, so. Another really nice thing that we're going to make real quick, it's another, you know, one of those little awesome Botania style items, is you take a crafting table and put a mana pearl on top and then mana steel ingots around it. That gets you the assembly halo, which this thing, another one of my favorite items from Botania. It's a personal crafting table. And so you can go in here, you can craft, and let's say, for example, what do we want to put in there? Okay, let's say sticks. Sticks are something you're going to have to make a lot of. So if you go and you craft those, you can actually you can point at one of these empty slots here and right click it, and now you can make sticks. So let's say, you know, I've got some wood here, and then you can just right click it and you'll get more sticks. And you know, you can set all kinds of recipes, you can change out your recipes. To get rid of a recipe, you shift left click, and that will remove the recipe. And then of course you can add a new one. So really nice item to have, especially, you know, when you're down underground digging and say redstone. Redstone's something I hate mining because you get a lot of it, and same with lapis and stuff like that. You get a lot of that stuff and it just kind of fills up your inventory. But with this, you can just on the fly, you can just craft like redstone blocks, lapis blocks, etc. And that way, you know, it'll save up on your space a bit. So next thing, this should be done cooking, so let's get this. If you notice, we got our alumite here, and we can just pour it into the mold like so, and we'll throw that back in there, and then we'll go into the tool forge and apply this to our pick and get it upgraded. So now we have an alumite pick, and I'll name that at some point, just I haven't got around to it yet. And it feels like the days fly by on here, so come on. Actually, we're going to the nether, so it's not really a big issue. I just don't want to step out and then a creeper be right there. Yeah, we should probably sleep. But hopefully before too long, my little like camp style setup will be moved out of here. I know I'm going to have to move it at some point because the Botania building is going to be right in here pretty soon. So But yeah, I've got everything set up. I'll probably start working on making those items to do magic research stuff. So, but I've actually already scouted in here. I found some Ardite and some cobalt. So it won't take us but a second to find it. I do have a lot of pigmen out here, so hopefully they're not pissed at me. Okay. No, they're not. Alright, so right up here is not what I thought it was. Where'd it go? It was right around in here somewhere. I can't jump. It's... well, you know what? I know it was over here. Because it was like right next to where we spawned in at. And I must just be... there it is. Okay. This is cobalt. If you're not familiar, it's just a blue ore. You're only going to find it in the nether. And, oh, we're not going to be able to get it yet because I forgot with the Iguana Tinker Tweaks, this is just Ardite mining level, so we're not going to be able to get the cobalt right now until we get this pick leveled up. So, that's a thing. And see, they get pissed in this pack if you mine netherrack. So do be aware of that. You can't mine netherrack on here without them getting a bit angry about it. But I needed some of this because I forgot to bring any kind of block to build with. So, but hey, we got a gold ingot out of it. So, alright. More pissed off pigmen. Alright. That takes care of them. So, what I was coming over here for, and the reason I needed this netherrack, was because right up here is Ardite. That's what it looks like. It's kind of like a goldish ore. You can mine this with just alumite, but the cobalt, we're going to have to get it leveled up a little bit in order to mine it. But yeah, I did find it odd that the pigmen get angry about mining netherrack on here. Like, I'm familiar with them getting angry about nether ores, but I've never had them get pissed about just netherrack. But yeah, apparently in this pack they do. I'm going to go ahead and grab that sulfur loot bags. I've got so many of those. So many. And a lot of them I still haven't even opened because I just don't have the space. You know, I've been slowly adding to that modular system for storage, but even still, it's just, there's so many loot bags. So let's throw all this junk in there, that and that. Or I haven't been putting in here just yet because I've just been storing in here just for ease of access, kind of a thing. But yeah, now we got some Ardite. We are going to, let's see, we'll go ahead and melt it down. Really the only thing it's going to combine with is the manual, so we don't have to worry too much about that. And then once I get the pick leveled up, I will get the cobalt and we'll be making manual. So the next thing I want to jump into, kind of worried about this episode running long, maybe not. We're going to make a jaded amaranthus today, which is one of my personal favorite flowers from Botania. Now what you're going to need to make it is a rune of spring. And so to make that, you're going to need a rune of fire and a rune of water. Water is, of course, mana powder, mana steel, bone meal, sugarcane, fishing rod. And then the fire is nether brick, gunpowder, nether wart, and then the powder and the ingot as well. So I've actually set aside the mats here. So we'll go ahead and grab these out. I was debating about setting up a hopper hawk and showing you guys that, but I decided against it. Well, no, I haven't entirely decided against it. I've debated about it, and I was still debating how I want to set that up, but we'll cover that here later on, and I'll explain to you what I mean by that. So our water one, just like that. And you know what? I forgot to bring my rod with me. Yeah. Let me go grab that real quick. But I've been doing quite a bit of mining. I've been stockpiling up a lot of coal. Of course, I've been burning a lot of coal. I've mainly been making it into coal blocks and burning it that way in those. So we'll throw that on top. And there's our runes of water. Now we'll make our fire one really, really quick. And while that's making, we'll need the rune of spring, which takes wheat, 3 saplings, and then 1 of each of those runes. So let's run and grab that real quick. And I hope you guys like the building. I mean, it's still got quite a bit of work to go, and then of course the inside, the interiors need to get populated and everything, but I think once it's all done, it'll look really nice. Anyway, alright. Now we'll go throw this living rock on top here. And that gets us the rune of fire. And then, of course, to make the rune of spring, just like that. Now that one will take probably a little bit longer to process. So while that's processing, we'll get these items out. Now the redstone root is just grass and redstone. So once again, like before, we'll just snip some grass right here. Got plenty of it. And then combine that with redstone. And then I've got the petals sitting here as well. Why did I get 2 of those? Alright, redstone roots. And then we'll grab our petals. And damn my inventory. Alright. Now let's go grab our rune. It should be, yeah, it's done. And wonder why. And that gets us our rune of spring, and apparently it gives us back our runes. Huh. I don't know if that's a bug or if that's intended, because normally it consumes the runes. Unless Botania itself has changed that recently. So we'll just put those in there. And then, let me grab a seed out of here. And then just like before, we're just going to drop these in here. Like that. And if you notice, it says it's a valid recipe. So we'll drop the seeds in there, and that gives us our jaded amaranthus. And then what this flower does is when it's placed down next to a mana pool and it has mana, it will create those mystical flowers all around it. So let me actually grab, because we got a lot of just junk around here. I love that thing so much. Yes, grab all of these. Grab them all. I do really want the red flowers in particular because I'm using them to make the red candles. So, oh no, we got a straggler over here. 2 stragglers. Oh my gosh. All right. So, one thing that we can do, if I remember correctly, we can drop these into a mana pool and it makes the radius smaller. Which is actually something I'm wanting to do with this, because the radius isn't quite as important, I don't feel like, with the Jaded Amaranthus, as just having mana. So, is that That's not how you do it, huh? Let me check here. I was thinking you just threw them in a mana pool to make their range smaller, but apparently that is not the case. Let's see, what would it be under functioning flora? And Jaded Amaranthus. Flower shrinking. Oh, with an alchemy catalyst. Okay. I forgot that we're going to have the alchemy catalyst. And I believe I'm going to have to find a nether fortress for that, if I'm correct. Yeah, we need brewing stands. Other than that, it's not an expensive recipe. I may try to get that stuff together for like next episode maybe. But I do know we're going to be covering immersive engineering next episode as well. So I'm kind of excited about that. But I guess for now, we'll just leave the Jaded Amaranthus as is. And then once I get the alchemy catalyst, we'll decrease the size. Because I don't want just the immense radius on it, because I believe without shrinking it, the radius or the diameter is like 11, I think. So I don't know. Anyway, we're just going to set it, I think, right here. And if you notice, it's starting to feed off that mana pool, and it's creating mystic flowers. Now, the next part of this build that we are going to do, and the reason that I wanted to shrink it, is because we are going to create ourselves a hopper hawk. Which I know that takes the bloodstone root, right? Let me see here. Yeah, and then a rune of air. The redstone root and a rune of air, which if you recall, we still have a rune of air right here from when we made the, what did we make? Oh yeah, the baubles. So let me grab a piece of redstone here and these shears. Grab a piece of grass. And, oh yeah, we gotta go drop these. No, we don't. Grass and redstone. Okay. And I'm gonna need a seed. Sorry. I had most everything set out. I try to cover a lot in these episodes, because that way we can get a whole lot done, you know, each episode. And we'll throw the seed in there, and that gets us the hopper hawk. And what this does... Whoops. Just got all kinds of shit in here. I usually carry a bucket of water on me, because what you can do is you can actually just throw that down and then drink out of it, and it makes life so much easier, because the diseases and stuff seem to be disabled with EnviroMine, so you don't have to worry too much about that. Now we're going to drop this hopper hawk. I think we're just going to drop it like, let's see, the Jaded Amaranthus is there. We'll just drop the hopper hawk there. I don't want it directly next to the mana pool, because what that does, it'll actually feed off the mana and increase its range. Its standard range is like 7, but if you put it next to a mana pool and it's feeding off of it, its range will be increased to like 11, I think it is. And we don't really want that. So, and then the next part of our build, let me grab, I forgot to grab this leather here. Oops. We'll need 2 pieces of that. And you just, oh yeah, you'll need some living wood here. That's why I went and got that wood specifically for that. And you'll just put your living wood down the side here, your leather on the top and bottom, and then you'll put a horn of the wild in the middle. That's actually going to give you the drum of the wild. Now what makes this different, for one, it's not portable. You're just going to place this down, and so let's say I'm just going to put it, I'm just going to put it right here, I think. No, I don't really like it there. Let's actually put it Right there. So, wonder why that's not... Oh, yeah. Let me put a chest next to this hopper hawk now. For now, it's just going to be a chest, but eventually we'll change it. But what we can do is we can actually just hit this. Right? No. No, 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 no. Okay, we are going to have the pulse, which I didn't put the mats out for that. I was thinking we could manually hit that. Basically what you're going to need is is it the pulse? Yeah, it's the pulse mana spreader, which is just a mana spreader with redstone. I don't have the mats on hand for that. But basically you just set that up right here, and it would, whenever it gets a redstone pulse, it would send a redstone pulse or a mana pulse at this drum, which would activate it. Now I forgot to make that because I was thinking we could just hit this, but we can't. But the reason I didn't set the stuff up for that is because it does require a redstone signal, and we don't have access yet. I'm hoping to get it unlocked pretty quick, but Project Red, I want to get into that because that way we can make a timer. So I didn't make that stuff just yet because what is going on here? Let me turn that off. Oh, it finished making all those. My bad. That's what's going on there, is because all that energy is just building up and going crazy. So, we'll give it somewhere to go. These actually don't take that long to make, the tech augmentations and stuff. But anyway, the reason I didn't make it yet was because I wanted to make a timer so that we could set it for, say, like every 2 minutes it would make a pulse. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut camera for a second. I know this episode's getting pretty long, but we don't have too much more to wrap it up. But I'm going to cut camera for a second, get the stuff together to set this up with a timer, because I've got the tech augmentations. I just have to make more for the immersive engineering for next episode, but that's fine. So I'll get that stuff together, and I will be back in just a little bit. Together, for the pulse spreader, all you're going to have to do is take a mana spreader and combine it with redstone. That's going to get you your pulse mana spreader. Now what that does is, instead of emitting a mana pulse and, you know, using up X amount of mana out of the pool, what it's going to do is just use a minute amount, and it's going to pulse a redstone signal to whatever it's directed at. So what we're going to do is we'll run over, just because of my inventory issues here, we're going to run over and set this up. And I did unlock the Project Red, so we will be making a timer to go with this. So, and that is not, there we go. And then of course we'll just connect that together. And like I said, that has to receive a redstone signal in order for it to fire, and that's what we're going to use the timer for. So to make that, I went ahead and I made circuit plates. What this is, all you got to do is cook up just stone, and that's going to make circuit plates. So just double cook cobblestone and you'll be set. Now what we want to do to make the timer, I can never remember the recipe for this because it's, whenever you get into Project Red, it's just a big mix of these different conductive plates. So we're going to need 3 of just the conductive plates, which is just like that. Then we're going to need 2 cathodes, which are the circuit plates with redstone torches on top of them. So just like that. And then lastly, we're going to need 2 anodes, which you actually get 3 of these per craft. But you're just going to put circuit plates along the bottom and then redstone just like that. And then we'll just shift click this. Am I missing something? Oh, I need a pointer, not a cathode. Okay, that's just stone, redstone torch, and a circuit plate. So not too difficult. Even though I am starting to run out of inventory space. And it still doesn't shift click in. I don't know. I guess we'll just manually put that stuff in. Just like that. And that gets us the timer. Let me throw all this extra junk in here. I went ahead and made a bunch of those circuit plates because they're pretty cheap. And you are going to be using quite a bit of them as you get into Project Red. So we'll set this up just right there. Yeah, as you're seeing, as it's going mad here. Oh man, they put the timer in there. All right, we're going to. No, I want to put it. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I'm just doing it for looks and stuff. But we don't want 2 seconds. That's way too fast. So let's bump this up to, say, 2 minutes. That should be good. And if you notice, the timer's moving much slower now. But every time it comes around, it's going to emit a pulse, and that pulse is going to activate this pulse mana spreader that's going to send a pulse over to the drum and break everything in the vicinity. And then, of course, this hopper hawk's going to get it and put it into this chest. Now, the chest thing, as you can tell, it's getting full really, really quick, and that's not really ideal for what we're doing here. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into storage drawers actually, and pull up the recipes here. We're going to first make a drawer controller, which is 2 of these comparators, then stone, diamond, and any kind of drawer works, which actually I guess we should make the drawers first. So what we're going to do, just get yourself some slabs, just like that. And then you're going to want 4 chests, because we're going to do 2x2s. Now you can get by with less chests if you do like these single drawers that are set up like that, which we may end up changing over to that. It's just as of right now, due to building this big monstrosity, I'm kind of low on wood, so. But that gets us the 2x2s, which will hold 4 different items, and it'll hold 4 stacks per item. And then, of course, we'll put that. I wonder if we can actually make it with trim. Let's try making it with trim first. Which, what trim is the way storage drawers work is they connect to each other. Think of these drawers as almost like piping. So as long as these drawers are connected to other drawers or other trim, it's going to be one system. And this drawer controller will inject items into that system. So, which I'll show you once we start setting this up. But the trim, basically, it's not going to hold anything, but it's going to extend the system. So it's a cheaper way to extend the system without having to make drawers and stuff for each block that you want to move it. So we'll see if we can make this. I'm not sure if it makes with a trim or not. It doesn't. Okay. So then I guess okay. We can't use those kind of drawers. Alright. Apparently. Okay. Let me make another one real quick. Just like this. And the 1x1s are just like, okay. Not too difficult. I was kind of afraid I was going to run out of wood there. Alright, that gets us the oak drawer, which that, if you notice, only makes 1. And that still doesn't work. Why is that? Okay, well, I guess because this is unstable stone and that takes normal stone only, and I don't know. Well, let me see. I wonder if we can turn these into slabs and then make... Does that make stone slabs? But that doesn't... Man. We might not be able to make this, actually. Oh, okay. Like that. That still makes just stone slabs. How bizarre. Let's see if this works real quick. If not, we may not be able to do the storage drawers. Because I was going to use that so we could have separate slots, almost like barrels from Jabba. But since Jabba's not in this pack, yeah, we're not going to be able to make it. Huh. Well, alright then. So I guess we're going to have to wait until we actually get like a cobble gen that can make standard cobble, because as of right now, every bit of cobble in the game is the unstable stone cobble. So yeah, I guess we'll leave it there. I was going to have the controller set up here so the Hopper Hawk would input into the controller and then send it down downstairs for now, and have the drawers set up to hold each individual flower. But since we can't get stone to make the controller, I guess we're not going to be able to do that. So, well, alright then. I guess we'll call the episode there. I feel like we got a lot done. I'm sorry this episode ran a little bit long, but there was quite a bit that I wanted to get covered. So I hope what I showed today helps you guys out if you're playing along, or learning from this series. But until next episode, take care, and if you enjoyed it, please comment, like, subscribe, share, and I'll throw a link up right now. If you just click that button, you'll get subscribed. And if we hit 100 subscribers, I was thinking I'll let you guys know about the actual backstory behind the name to Asgard, because there actually is a kind of a funny little story that goes along with it, and kind of like a inside joke kind of thing. So if we hit 100 subscribers, I will let you guys know. I know we're still a ways off from that, but yeah. So until next episode, take care, and I will see you then. And as always, if you have any questions or anything, just let me know down in the comments, or hit me up on social networking. All the links are down below in the description, so just let me know. See you next time, and take care.